Hello. Hi. Stan, good morning. Raina, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Lynn, Nancy, Michael, hello, everyone. And Lynn, good morning. Well, here we are. Holidays are upon us. Definitely feel the energetics of what that means. It seems like even if you don't want to participate and have a lot of aspects of it, it is what it is. So, let's see. Anything anybody would like to say or report? Anything going on? This will be our last class on Wednesday for 2021, Yoga for Wellness. And it really is kind of a long time that we're off, actually, because we don't start again until the first week of January. It happens to be about 3 weeks that we're off. And it's just been that usually things get so crazy around this time of the year that I never really had a lot of people show up anyway. And this is how the hospital does it. And it's really nice at the end of the year for me to get that time, that break, and I come back so refreshed in January. That does not mean that I will not be practicing yoga, and that does not mean that you should not practice yoga. So even if we don't have our live classes, these classes have been recorded since March 2020. There are a lot of classes that are on my YouTube channel to push play and watch. There is the beginning where there's the hello and introductions, and then there's the end where there's the goodbyes. So you could fast forward maybe a little through that and close your eyes and be guided. Or start to move your body every day without thinking that it has to be a certain way. And so today's practice, I'd actually like to do a lot of different basic practices or basic postures in yoga. And the intention of the physical practice has a few aspects. Number one, it's to ground the energy, like speedy energy. So whether the speedy energy, it's called Rajasic energy, it's to ground it. So when things are too fast, too hot, too whatever. So in one way, it's to ground the energy in the body, to slow everything down. It's also to ward off future pain and suffering. And it's also to prepare the body to be more able to sit in meditation, to sit and to breathe and to be in the present moment. Because that's really where the deep healing is in the practice of yoga, is when we are connected and we're in the moment and we're breathing and nothing else matters. We're not focusing on anything else. We're not thinking about what we're doing tomorrow or what we did yesterday, but we're in that moment, at that moment, focusing on our breath. And when we slow down our mind, we allow the body to go into its tremendous, tremendous place of healing. And that's important because we have a tremendous healing capacity in all of us, regardless of where you are in your health journey and regardless of how many issues you may have in your tissues. We all have this innate ability to heal. And the body's goal is always to find homeostasis and find balance. We need to get out of the way and allow that to happen. So to sit in meditation, to sit in present moment, to sit in breath is the most valuable healing thing you can do for yourself. So if there are not any questions or inquiry or anything, I'd like to begin by bringing in movement into our body, into our joints, and just start moving our bodies. And I'd like to make my view a little bigger. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my spot. When I'm teaching at home and when you're at home practicing, I like to make it as simple as possible and not bring out too many props. I personally love props. I think it's an amazing way to support the body, whether that's because you have tightness in your body or because you have issues in your tissues. And I know for myself on my journey of healing with my hip joint, and for so many that I work with that have issues of tightness or limited range of motion for flexion and bending the joints, they're really, really helpful to use props. So the basic props that you'll need for this practice today is a block and a strap and a blanket, and that keeps it really simple. So those are really great. And if you had nothing else, if you didn't have a block or a strap, a blanket can be used for almost everything. It could be rolled up, it could be wound up to use it as a strap to hold your leg. So having a blanket or rolled up towels really is great. And especially if you do have issues in your body, if you know you have some issues. I'm going to add today to my practice a bolster, and this for you could be pillows. To start with today's practice, I'd like to begin with a seated breath, because when we are in the seated position, we allow for the maximum range of motion of our lungs. And the breath that I'd like to teach today is called breath of peace. And we all could use that. And it's a very simple form of breathing. It's an equal inhale and an equal exhale. And if you use counting when you're breathing, you're actually more likely to stay very, very focused, to focus the mind, to focus the body, to focus the breath. So I'm going to begin in a seated position. I'm going to support my body with a bolster. And I'm actually going to put this in between my calf and my tushy, and I'm going to put it down lower near my heels. And this can be actually a nice thing to do for those of you that have knees that don't like to bend, is to have a support so that you minimize the flexion in your knees. And it doesn't have to be this. It could be Sukhasana, where you're sitting with your legs crisscrossed or your legs in front of you. And of course, if sitting is a little too uncomfortable for you, maybe you have issues in your hips or tightness in your hips or your low back, and you want to come down onto the ground, you could do that as well. When we are in the seated position, we do allow for more movement in our lungs. And actually, another sitting position that really sets up the spine for success is Hero's Pose, or Vajrasana, Thunderbolt pose. And so you could actually put a block or a bolster or something between your legs like this, so it's down by the ankles. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to begin my posture today like that. I'm going to support my tushy. And for those whose knees don't like to bend, if you had a lot of pillows or blocks that you could put there like that, it's actually really nice to do that, to support the tushy in this position here. And then if you could bring the knees together, and then if you are in this position, or even if you're in Sukhasana, I'd like to do a little foot massage, foot rub, taking your knuckles and pressing your knuckles into the arch, into the foot. And if you can't bend your knees and you're sitting in Sukhasana, just get your hands to rub your feet. This is where the energy centers exist in yoga. They're called the nadis, and they begin on the feet, crisscrossing all the way through your body up to your brain. And then bring yourself into this present moment. So wherever you are, whatever position you put yourself in, whatever props you've chosen to use. And you could also begin your practice in a chair. Making sure that the physical body is comfortable so it doesn't distract the mind. That's what we want. We want to minimize distractions, because gosh knows there's plenty of those, right? Sit nice and tall, find alignment in your spine. Find Tadasana, which is mountain posture in a seated position. Feel your pelvis, and from your pelvis grows your spine. Have the elbows be underneath your shoulders so that you fire up, turn on, and support yourself in the best supported postural position possible, with the shoulder blades on the back of the body. Sitting nice and tall from the tailbone all the way up the spine to the crown of the head. Sukha Pranayama, breath of peace, is an equal inhale and exhale. I'd like to use the number 4 to begin, and then I'd like to jump to the number 6. Once you're in it and you've started to soften your breath, loosen your muscles of respiration, and bring yourself to this present moment. If your mind is particularly active, you could take your hands and rub your hands on your thighs, really feeling the palms and the fingers, making contact with your body. Bringing your awareness into your body, eyes are closed, that long spine, elbows are underneath the shoulders, stacking your joints and finding as perfect seated alignment as you can in your body, setting yourself up for success. So let's prepare by taking a big exhale. And let's begin. Mouth closed, breathing in through the nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. 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 Adding on. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Continue on your own. Try counting in your mind whatever number is appropriate for you. And if you'd like to add on, you can try adding on, keeping the breath even on the inhale, even on the exhale. Same inhale, same exhale. If you get distracted, go right back. Keep going. Try to be in this moment, focusing on your breath, noticing all that you notice when you breathe. And wherever you are, finish this breath and take 3 more breaths, counting, noticing, being in the moment, being with the breath. See if you could feel your lungs expand forward, backward, side to side, and top to bottom. Finishing your last breath, let your last breath gently be led back to your body, breathing itself. And noticing what you notice after this brief amount of time sitting in whatever position you're seated in, bringing your breath and your awareness to this moment. Slowing down the mind, minimizing the input by having the eyes closed, going inward, and allowing whatever parts of you were able to heal be healed. Bring your awareness to your hands, bring your hands together, rubbing your hands together. Let's take the hands to cover the eyes. Maybe there's a heat that was generated in your hands. And then gently allow your eyes to blink open. So these are not just words. I really would like you to take that to heart, that this body that you have has tremendous healing capabilities. And even if you feel that you have aches and pains and this is wrong and that's wrong, and you go to the doctor and you get this diagnosis, that diagnosis, this thing, that thing, that most of these things that we have, most of these conditions, especially these metabolic conditions and these physical conditions, are reversible and changeable once we actually start to bring in change. So let's move your legs so that you bring fluid down to the lower extremities because our knees have been bent. That's actually another great thing, is to bend your knees and cause a restriction of flow and then allow it to come back in. So it may be a slow process, and if you accept it as a slow process, healing yourself, whatever your issues are, whether it's a diagnosis of any kind of heart conditions or blood sugar regulation issues, all of these can actually be managed with healthier lifestyle and learning how to do that. And the physical body, keeping the physical body strong and keeping the body limber and mobile, so important. So important. Okay, we're going to begin today's practice. I'd like to begin the practice where we are going to do a little bit of movement to really take some congestion out of the upper body and help to create freedom in the upper body, because this can actually be really good for especially those with shoulder issues, upper back and neck issues, and even low back issues as well. So let's take a blanket and let's take the blanket, and we're going to take the blanket. So take it longwise this way. I was trying to kind of figure out which way I want to start with this. We're going to have the blanket, we're going to roll it up. We're going to use the blanket in our spine for support and get some mobility in our shoulders and arms. So the tighter you fold this, the more intense the work will be. So if you want to go for more intensity, have a really tight wrap of your blanket. And then if you need to be a little bit more gentle, don't wrap it so tight so that it won't be such a high range, right? So whatever this is, how many ever inches this is going to be the gravitational pull on the shoulders and start to stretch the pectorals and the deltoids and get a little bit more freedom here in the upper body. So we're going to sit the tushy on the ground. Your tushy is going to be on the ground. And then if you have osteoporosis, making sure you don't put too much pressure on the front of your spine. So when you come down, if you come down like this, really having an open front spine, and even putting your hands like this, you're going to get some stretch to come into the shoulders and the chest. And then bring yourself onto your blanket. Lift your pelvis up so that you could arrange yourself. So you really are center of spine, whole spine on the blanket. And it would be nice if you could manage not needing any more support by the head. But of course, that is determined by how much tightness you have in your shoulder area or in your upper spine and the head and neck area. So do what's appropriate. I'd like you to have not too much support. So either no support, being completely in this position, or you could actually try to elevate your head just a little by filling in the space of the curve of the neck. And then whatever props you have, make sure you have your space clear. Almost.
Make sure your space is clear so that your arms can actually move. So move your props a little lower. Let's begin with the arms out to the side, and then start with them straight out to the side, because this will be probably good for all of you. Take your legs a little wider. The knees are falling in towards each other. And then notice here if you do at all feel anything here. And let's start to move the arms up and down. And we're going to actually do this with breath. So take an inhale to raise your arms up, and then exhale to bring your arms down. And stay in a really nice, tight range of motion to begin with. So nothing too crazy. Eyes are closed. See if you could have your back neck be nice and long. Have the center of your head touching the blanket. So you're supported. Your whole spine is on the blanket. The center of the back of the head is supported by the blanket. And then the arms are moving up on the inhale, down on the exhale. Up on the inhale, down on the exhale. And keep moving like this. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And if you want to move and get a little bigger, go ahead and try to get a little bigger with your range of motion. And keep continuing to do that. So start to go a little higher if you can, maybe touching your fingers above your head. Close your eyes so you could feel what's happening. You may even notice bones, the joints moving. You may notice the tightness in the tissue. You may notice asymmetry, that one side is tighter than the other. It's really good to know your body, to know where you are, to know what you need, so you could focus on that. Inhale up, exhale, draw the elbows closer to the waist. Try to keep the hands at the same level as the elbows. And keep the arms, actually, they could actually graze the ground, or they could be hovering. If you go closer to try to graze the ground and slide your hands up and down, definitely a deeper stretch. So really move slowly in this range of motion to try to find where do you need to soften and loosen and free up tightness. And then you're going to take your arms and let your arms go into a place of relaxation where you feel the biggest stretch. So explore with the eyes closed. Either the arms need to raise up, the elbows are straight, or they're bent, whatever it is for you. Feel your way into a deep, appropriate stretch. And then notice if there's tension in the head and neck. Let's rock the head back and forth, side to side. Moving your head back and forth. Side to side. And then bring yourself back to center. Hopefully you're feeling something, some stretch somewhere. Usually most of us do, because we spend a lot of time in a forward position. And this has the ability to get into the shoulders, where the arms attach to the body, and also in the spine. And take one more breath. And you slowly bring your arms down, your knees are bent. Let's roll off of your prop to the side for a second. Let yourself recalibrate here, and then take your hand on the ground, push yourself up, and we're gonna do something a little similar, a little higher here. You could take the blanket that was behind your head and fold that in two. This will be a place for your head to rest. Or if you had two blocks, you could use a block for your head. If you had two blocks, one of them would be up there and one's here. Let's bring the block onto the floor. We're gonna put it behind our heart, behind our shoulder blades. If you don't have a block, using two blankets so that you have something going across horizontal here in the chest, and then you're gonna need something to support your head. Now, keeping the front of your spine open when you come down, especially with osteoporosis, and 55% of the people over age 50 have bone density issues. So I have to imagine that even if someone doesn't know that they have osteoporosis, potentially they could have osteopenia and maybe even osteoporosis. So just saying that to keep us safe. So what I want you to do is I want you to have the shoulders, we're going to stretch the shoulders here and the chest and the whole front of the body. So the shoulder blades are on the prop, whatever that is, whether it's a rolled up blanket, towel, or a block. Now I put this back here for those of you that need it. I personally am not going to use it, but for those that may feel too much heaviness or tension in their body when they're doing this, you may need to have something there that you could rest on. I'm going to take my hands behind my head and clasp my hands behind my head, putting my thumbs down my neck. So I'm really supporting my head and my neck here, holding onto my head with my hands. So my hands are very tightly clasped, and I feel my skull in my palms. My thumbs are down my neck on either side. And I'm going to give myself a little traction. So I'm actually lengthening my neck, my cervical spine, pulling some space there by drawing my head up towards the wall behind me. If this feels too heavy, if it feels too intense and you feel tension in your upper back and neck because you feel like you have to hold your head up with your neck muscles, then use a blanket behind your head. So for me, I feel okay with this, but I could imagine that for some of you that is the case. So you may need to come into breaks holding your head. Have your feet wider than your body. Your knees are falling in towards each other. Feel your sacrum pressing into the ground. That's the end of your spine and your pelvis. And then push your sacrum down into the ground. Push your elbows towards the ground. Nice long neck. And feel the stretch wherever you feel the stretch. Probably a lot of intensity here in the rib cage area. Maybe underneath the shoulders. We all have it in different places, but this is really a big postural correction move. And then you're going to take an inhale. As you exhale, I want you to bring the elbows straight up towards the sky. So the elbows are pointing up towards the sky, and then only moving the neck, lifting the chin closer towards the chest, stretching some muscles down the back of the spine. That's the exhale. Inhale, open. Exhale, the elbows come towards each other. The chin goes towards the chest. You're not rounding the thoracic spine, the spine attached to your rib cage. You still feel the heaviness of your shoulders on the block. So you're not rolling your shoulders off the block. This is shoulders and neck. Exhale. Feel that stretch going into the back. Inhale. Feel that stretch going into the armpits and maybe even the front by the chest. If you want your head to go a little lower than the block, that's even more intense. Make sure it feels appropriate for you. Exhale to close. Inhale to open. Exhale to close. Inhale to open. One more. Exhale to close. Inhale to open. Stay here, arms are out to the side. I'd like us to come into this extra stretch in this position. So here, I would like you to have something underneath your head. And again, this is going to be individual, person to person on how much you need. So explore where your head is lower than your prop behind your chest. So explore putting less and less blanket to support you. Let your arms go out to the side. Come into a stretch that feels appropriate for you. And pretty intense if you can handle that. Push your belly button towards your spine, hug your lumbar spine, push your sacrum into the ground, protect your low back. Notice if you feel a pulling in your low back and activate the front of your back, which is called your core. Press your belly button to your spine. And then try to move the arms overhead. Exhale. Inhale, arms come down. Try to keep your elbows straight if you can. Inhale, arms go up. Go slow. I want you to feel the nooks and crannies. I want you to loosen the tightness, break through adhesions that are in your tissues, create space, increase range of motion. Try to keep your back neck nice and long. You do not want your back neck to feel tense here. So put whatever support you need behind your head to release the tension from the head and to isolate this in the shoulders and the arms. Exhaling, arms come up, inhaling, open. Try to keep the elbows straight. And then bring your arms straight up, palms are up towards the sky. Push your belly button towards your spine, sacrum into the ground, really supporting that lower back. Try to push the top edge of your pelvis slowly towards the ground. We're doing a lot of deep muscular stretching of your torso. So go slow and make sure it's appropriate, especially for those of you that have back issues, because you have a lot of protection in your body. So let your body know this is safe and you're doing this. Belly button towards spine, low back pressing towards the ground or top of pelvis towards the ground. Arms are above you. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and bring yourself out. Let's come all the way off. Go slow. Lots of stretching there, so go slow. Ooh, wow, it feels pretty intense to come off. That was really deep stretching, lots of posture work. And honestly, sometimes it's the tightness in the upper body that causes the issues in the lower body, because the low back takes the brunt of everything. And if you're not supported well and very tight in the upper body, then that's going to translate down to the low back, and the low back's going to have to come to the rescue. Let's push ourselves up to a seated position. So I'd like to take some tension out of the neck and do some neck movements. Your choice here. You could come into Sukhasana easy seat, or you could sit up on a block. Actually, let's sit up on a block. That'll be easier for most of us. So let's come here to loosen up the hips. Neck tension also could be because you have tight hips and you have a tight lower body. So you need to stretch everything. Moving your hips in this windshield wiper action. And then can you sit like this? Can you take one leg over the other and do a little side to side? Now I definitely feel my buttock bones on the floor. So feel what you feel here. Hip replacements, be a little careful. Have your, just have your awareness in your hips. And what I want you to make sure is that you are not caving in and collapsing. Really lift your heart here as you move your legs side to side. And let's do the same thing with the other. Take the other leg over and side to side. This definitely gets the posterior hip capsule or the side of the body or the glutes. Those of you with sciatica, this is going to keep the tissues loose that the sciatic nerve travels through. Okay, now we can stretch our neck. So let's take our block, put our block here, bring your strap off to the side. Let's take your blanket
and drape your blanket over your block. And we're gonna sit on the block. And for some of you, that may be uncomfortable. Maybe 2 blocks may be better for your buttocks to be supported. But to be up on the block is actually a really nice way to give some space and freedom for the hips. So let's come to release some tension that came into the head and neck area. Sit nice and tall. Elbows are underneath your shoulders. Really, really lengthen spine here. And then your ear, you're going to inhale to push your ear up towards the ceiling or the sky. Exhale back to center. Inhale, opposite ear, straight up towards the sky. You may not get a lot of movement here in your neck. This is lateral or side bending, and it's not a natural movement for the neck. So if it's not something you do often or have done often in your life, you may find that you have a limitation in your ability to move your neck in this way. Not to worry. Practice makes perfect. So we'll keep practicing. You may notice too that there's some movement of lymph in the system, and you may swallow, taking a little congestion out of the head. Bring yourself back to center. Teeth are together. Inhale tall. Exhale chin to chest. Only the neck is moving. Keep the teeth together. Inhale chin up towards the sky. Exhale chin to chest. Chin to the sky. Chin to chest. And chin to the sky. Bring yourself back to center. Bring your chin over one shoulder. Inhale. Exhale, chin down as if you were smelling your own armpit. Chin up towards the sky. Keep your teeth together. Down, smell the armpit. Up. Down. Up. Bring your chin back to neutral, and then bring your head forward. Bring your head over the other chin, over the other shoulder. Make sure your chin is parallel to the ground here. We are moving our neck in different ranges of motion, and you want to be really careful that you don't cause strain and that you actually get into the muscle groups that we're trying to get into. So you keep your chin parallel. We're now going in diagonal pattern. It doesn't matter how close you get to your body. It doesn't matter how much movement you put into your neck. As long as you feel a stretch somewhere, try to stay really safe. It's important when you move your neck and you start to do this, that you actually do move. You don't just throw your head around and start moving. When I first started practicing yoga, we were taught, and I probably even taught, to do this head roll. I do not do that at all anymore. And I think that's really unsafe to let the weight of your head go around in all of these ways. So this is a little bit more of a safe, methodical way of stretching your neck muscles. Keep the chin parallel. Keep the head on top of the spine. Let your chin go over to the opposite shoulder of what you just did. Keep your teeth together. Exhale. Inhale. And on the next exhale, chin down towards the chest as if you were smelling the armpit. Chin on the inhale up towards the sky. Go slow here. Last one. You come back to neutral and then bring your head back to center. You're going to add rotation. You're going to inhale, look over one shoulder, inhale the other. Don't move your torso, only move your neck. So don't let your chest move. Don't let any part of your body move, only your head. And it doesn't matter how much it moves, just move it. And then bring yourself back to center. So that was the head and the neck. Take your hands on your shoulders. If you need to move your legs, you can take your legs forward, shake, 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 and then go ahead and bend them, bring them back. Get nice and tall here, tall in your spine. Feel your tushy pressing down. Take an inhale. As you exhale, let your chin go towards your chest, let your shoulders come down, let your shoulders come up, and let your shoulders open. Exhale down, up. Now our shoulder blades are free to move up and down the back of your body. So the shoulder blades can move up and down, clearing the cobwebs in the back of the body. One more. And then bring yourself down. Take your strap nice and long. Hold your strap open. We're gonna go up and back with the strap. If this is okay for your shoulders, for those whose shoulders don't like to lift, don't use the strap. And you can take your arms out to the side, stretching the shoulders. Probably have a pretty good range of motion now after we've done so much work to correct our posture in our upper body, head and neck. The next time you come back. Stay in a place where you feel a stretch. And imagine you're holding a sheet and there's a strong, strong wind. So just like the winds of a sail, feel that you're actually being pushed back or moved back, and push your heart forward, open your throat. Smile. Take one more breath. And then bring yourself back to center. Let's take our hands on the strap like this. Pull the strap, really feel that tension in the strap. Bring your hands up and push the strap back behind your body. Inhale, and then exhale. Pull the strap apart, bring your hands down. Don't let the strap graze your head. Inhale up and exhale down. If the low body is bothering you at all, you could come into Baddha Konasana, letting the soles of the feet touch. Feel the tushy on whatever it's supported by, and then push the belly button back towards the spine. Make sure your torso is coming right out of your pelvis. So don't be leaning forward here, and don't be leaning back. Be really nice and stacked. Inhale up, exhale down, stay here. Pull the strap, pull, pull, pull. Pull the strap. Don't let the strap touch your head. Push the strap away from your head. Pull on the strap. Slide the shoulder blades towards each other and down towards your pelvis. Take one more breath. And then go ahead and release. Whew. Pretty intense. Do a little lateral flexion side to side, taking some tension out. Let your arm go up. And then bring yourself back to center. Take your hands down alongside your body. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. And then shake, shake, shake. All right. Keeping our body nice and strong and open and mobile and transmitted. All right, let's take your blanket, take your block out. Take your blanket and fold your blanket. We'll come into a plank posture because strengthening your trunk like this can be very supportive for helping to stabilize and support all that we were just opening and stretching. And so this is really important. We're going to come into, so I'm going to do a full plank where I have wide limbs. My feet are wide, my hands are wide. You could choose to do a modification, taking your hands forward, letting your belly come a little closer to the ground. So don't be up here,
be here if that's what you'd like to do. So do whatever it is you'd like to do. Take your hands wide, take your legs wide, and then let's push our toes under, bring yourself onto all the limbs, the hands and knees, and I want you to push your body weight back and forth, side to side. And then lift your head so your head is not dangling, your head is really active here. Let your body find itself in space like this, and then go forward and back. Forward and back. There's a small movements of your body weight in space. Dig your hands, your fingers into the ground so you really help protect. Then push your body weight back. Push your feet into the floor. And then feel like you're dragging your feet up to your hands. Feel that deep turning in or turning on. And then let's take the hands, walk the hands closer together. Walk the hands out. Closer together and out. Maybe you could feel stuff happening in the core. One more. And then go ahead and bring your knees down. Feel the heart rate. Just come up here for a second. Have your legs be a little wide. Then just take your hands on your waist. Just go side to side. Feel the heart beating. Let's close the mouth. Deep breath through the nose. And deep exhale through the nose. Allowing the breath to relax, to come down, to calm down. All right. So let's come on to our backs. Take your blanket to the top of your mat. Make sure that you have your strap and your block handy. And then bring your hands alongside your body. Now, you decide. Hands towards you is usually a little bit more challenging. Hands could be out to the side. We are going to weight up. We're going to lift up off of the ground, coming into a reverse tabletop, or it's called tabletop. It's like a reverse plank, kind of. So you're going to push your feet into the floor, push your hands, spread your hands like crazy. So the plank pose we just came out of is something really great to find in your body for strength. This is also good for the back of the body strength, and it's also great to stretch the front of the body. So we've done a lot to stretch our body today, so hopefully you're feeling pretty good in this. Let's take an exhale. Then push your hands into the floor, push your feet into the floor, lift yourself up, inhale, exhale to lower. Go slow so you can feel the range of motion in your shoulders, in your spine, in your hips. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. 2 more. See if you can lift your rib cage a little bit higher on this last one. So really push your rib cage up. Stay here for 1 breath. And then slowly, slowly, slowly bring yourself down. Take your wrists, shake your wrists. Let's do a little work on the ground now. So coming to the side, reach your hand nice and long. Come down onto the ground. Feels so good to actually let your body be resting on the ground now, doesn't it? Let's bring your legs up into the air, your hands. Do a little shake, shake, shake. And then one at a time, let's bend and unbend the knees. Keep your hands down alongside your body. Bend and unbend the knees. Go slow. moving your knee. And then bring your legs up to the sky. Inhale to point, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Now, if your legs are above your pelvis, you're definitely doing some core work. You could even take your fingers, put your fingers right at the bottom by your pubic bone. You'll feel that transverse abdominis on line. Inhale and exhale. Inhale to point, exhale to bend. And then have your legs be pretty wide here. Circles in one direction, circles in the other. Then take your legs wide. Take your hands on your legs at the sides. Close to straight if you can. Flexed ankle joint if you can. Feel that stretch on the inner thighs. Hold your legs, the weight of your legs. That may be a little more helpful for some of you. You may need that. Or maybe for all. I don't know. And then go ahead and bring yourself back to center. Let's take your foot onto the ground. Let's take a strap. Bring the left foot up. Take the strap on the left foot. Wrap your hand around. Keep the right knee bent. And then draw the leg back. If you could keep your legs straight, great. And if you can't, that's okay as well. Draw the leg back, stretching the hamstring. And even if the low back presses into the floor, that's okay. And then when you're here, do a little bend and a little straighten. A little bend and a little straighten. So even if you're not able to go straight, go towards straight. So bring that range of motion into your knee joint, which will have an effect on the hamstring muscle that we're stretching. And then go to a static hold. Go ahead and release. Take the strap up to the widest part of your foot. So not on the toes, on the foot before the toes. Pull the strap down so you get a pretty strong flexion in that ankle. And inhale to bend the knee, exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend, exhale, straighten. Feel that stretch down the back of your leg somewhere. Maybe the calf, maybe you feel it all the way down the leg. And then straighten your leg. Really pull the strap down towards your body. Feel that strong calf stretch. And then go ahead and bend and release. Let's take the left leg across over to the right. So the left, not the ankle joint, but the lower leg bone. The left lower leg bone is resting on the top of the right thigh, and the left sole is pointing towards the sky. Take your arms out to the side. This is a figure four. Let's do a little movement with the figure four. So you're going to move towards the left and then towards the right. Now, the important thing here is not the side to side movement as much as it is long waist. So as you move over to the right, this is the left leg that's up. As you move over to the right, create the longest left waist possible and push the left leg away from you with your mind and your muscles. So you inhale, don't go too far to the left. You're coming back kind of to center, maybe a little off. When you start to go over to the right, push your left leg away from you, feel it pressing into the right thigh, and then letting the leg go towards the right. Feel whatever stretch you feel here. Stretching the waist, stretching the hip. The next time you come over there, stay there. You're pushing your left leg away. Feel the stretch wherever you're feeling it. And then bring yourself back up to center. Take the leg, and now you're going to touch the leg. So you're actually crossing your legs. Back of the left thigh is touching the top of the right thigh. Exhale. Inhale. Let your legs go towards the right and push the top left thigh away from you with your muscles. This is not about going to the right. It's not about getting the foot to the floor. It's about lengthening the torso and rotating the trunk. For people with low back issues, be in your low back right now. Make sure the low back is happy. So if you go too far and it pulls on the low back, don't do that. Push your sacrum into the floor. Push your left leg away from you. Feel your body moving towards the right. Feel the stretch in the left. Inhale back to center. Last one, exhale over to the right. Stay there. Let your head go to the left. Deep breaths. And then bring yourself back up. Let's draw the knees into the chest. Actually, put your feet on the floor. Pick up your pelvis. Move your pelvis over to the left. And then draw the knees into the chest. And allow the legs to go to the left. The legs go to the right. Head to the left, legs to the right. Left legs are going towards the right. You may need to take your block and put your block in between your lower leg or your knees. You may not, but some of you may. Try to keep the shoulder blades and the upper trunk on the floor, and then take your hand on the outside of the left knee and come into this twist. Make sure it feels appropriate for you, and then create space in your left waist. So with your muscles and your mind, push the top of the left thigh away from you to deepen the stretch in the left side of your body. Head is to the left, legs are to the right. And then push the sacrum back, push the top of the pelvis back. So you minimize that extension in the lower back, stretching the muscles and supporting the bones. Take one more breath. Then you're going to draw your knees up one at a time. Bring yourself back to neutral. Let's take your legs straight. Close your eyes for a second. Get your arms down by your side. Just checking in with your body here. Noticing the left side, how the left side feels after all that stretching, and then comparing that with the way the right side feels. Maybe there's a difference, maybe not. But becoming more body aware is really important for you to keep yourself healthy and happy as you age. And then let's bend the knees, bring the strap, bring the right foot up and bring the strap onto the right arch. Keep the left leg bent and then wrap your hands around. We're going to stretch that right back thigh, moving the leg towards the wall behind you, allowing the low back to go towards the floor if it does, or keeping the leg straight or bent, doesn't matter. Lots of different ways to stretch. On your next inhale, bend the knee and straighten on the exhale. Inhale to bend, exhale to straighten. Inhale to bend, exhale to straighten. Bend, straighten. And then come to a straight for one breath. And go ahead and release. Bring your leg away from you a little bit. Bring your strap up to the widest part of the foot. Draw that leg down. Pull the foot towards you, so feel the stretch behind the calf. Inhale to bend the leg. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bend. Exhale, straighten. Bending and straightening. And then the last one, you're going to hold it for a breath. And then go ahead and bend. Next, take your right leg over onto your left leg. So it's the right lower leg bone that's resting on the top of the left thigh. The arms are out to the side. This is called the figure four. You're pushing the right leg away from you with your mind and your muscles. So you're pushing it away. That's going to deepen the stretch. Arms are to the side. Exhale. And then inhale. Let your legs move over to the left. Push the right thigh away the whole time you do that. Feel the stretch on the right side. Exhale back to center. Inhale. And exhale. Keep moving with breath, exploring the nooks and crannies of your body, feeling the stretch wherever you feel the stretch. If you'd like, you can let your head roll to the right as your legs move to the left. Really pushing the right leg away, though, to deepen the stretch. On your next one, you're going to stay there. Stay there. And then bring yourself back to center. Now you're going to take your legs and cross your legs so the back of the right thigh touches the top of the left thigh. Exhale. Inhale, push your right thigh away from you as you let it go over towards the left. Exhale back to center. Inhale. And exhale. If you'd like, you could turn your head to the right as your legs go to the left. And then on your next one, you're going to go into this and stay there. Pushing your belly back towards your spine, pushing the low back towards the ground. So supporting the lower back when you do twists. On your next exhale, bring yourself back to center and then uncross the legs. You're going to push your feet into the floor, lift your pelvis up and move your pelvis over to the right. And then draw the knees in one at a time, letting the knees go to the left, keeping the shoulder blades on the ground if you can. And if you need to or would like to, you could take your block to either support the ankle joint area, to support the knee, or for some of you, maybe even underneath the legs would be better. So choose whatever feels appropriate here for you. Try to keep that right shoulder blade on the ground. Create space in your right waist. So push the pelvis, the top of the pelvis, and create a nice long right waist. Push the sacrum back, push the belly button towards the low back, and let the head go to the right. You could let your left hand go on top of your right leg. This really helps you to get a little deeper in your rotational force in your torso if you'd like. You could press your heart forward, shoulder blades on the ground, long waist on the right side. Take one more breath. And then you're gonna, to bring yourself out, you're gonna take your block off. You draw one leg up at a time, bring yourself back to center. Pick your pelvis up, take your sacrum, which is the base of your spine, put it back down on the ground. Bring your arms out to the side, and then bring your legs pretty wide here. How about off the mat? And let's do some windshield wiper action to take away any tension that came into your body. Feel your body here, rolling around in your hip joint, adding a little rotation to the low back area, to the pelvis. Feel the top edge of your pelvis rocking back and forth from one side to the other. Next time you get to the left, stay there. Let your head go to the right. Inhale. Exhale, belly button to spine. Let your legs come up and go over to the right. Head goes to the left. And then bring yourself back to center. Draw the knees into the chest. Any last movement you'd like to do to your body, really press that low back into the ground and go side to side. A really nice way to end here would be legs up the wall or legs up the chair. So get yourself into a position to put your legs up a wall or a chair if you have it, or the back of a sofa if you're near a sofa. So if you do want to come up with your legs up against the wall, you could come all the way up to seated, or you could bring yourself over to your surface and get your tushy as close as possible so that when you lift your legs up, you're kind of close to the wall. Now the goal is not to be on the wall. The goal is not to have your tushy touch the wall. People try so hard to get their butts to touch the wall that they're lifted off the floor. Your goal is to be relaxed, to let your pelvis settle and to let the legs sink deep into the sockets, to relax the low back, to relax the hips. So move to whatever position you could get to come close to that. And then find the blanket underneath the head and neck, not the upper back. The arms go out to the sides and just relax, relax, relax. Legs up the wall is an amazing position to be in, to let everything in your body settle, to let everything relax, and to really take a lot of pressure off the low back.
Gently begin to deepen your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Draw your knees to your chest. And then rock onto your side. And from there, push yourself up to seated. We'll close our practice with a humming, letting ourselves settle everything. Maybe something that got stirred up, or maybe just for the sake of settling. Bringing your hands together, sit in a nice upright position. Take your hands to your chest so your heart can push into your hands to your heart. Feel that support coming into the upper back. Nice long spine, nice long neck. We'll hum with our mouth closed. Let's take a big exhale to create a lot of room. And then deeply inhale. Bowing in Namaste, or in gratitude, or in thanks. Hopefully you feel good. Nice lubricating joint, postural correction, creating space kind of practice. I think we could all use that. All right. Hi, Carolyn. Hopefully my transmission was okay. Hopefully I was coming through loud and clear. Oops. Yeah. All right. Thank you, Michael. Thanks, everyone. I hope you have a beautiful, happy holiday. Please always practice yoga. Don't stop. Keep moving your body, because if you stop moving, it will stop moving. And if it stops moving, that's not good, right? So keep moving your body and be safe. And I'll see you, well, maybe this week in my other classes or live in 2022. Crazy. Happy holidays. Be well.